Hey guys, Articulation here, and today we're looking at the Mezco knockoff Batman from AliExpress. Alright, so in terms of my initial review and my initial thoughts about this figure, it's a really good figure. It's a knockoff figure, but it's just worth the price. I think I paid around 55 Australian dollars for it, and that's with postage. So I bought him on AliExpress. It's a pretty good figure. Just that there are a few differences to what the actual Mezco figure is. So if you look at the chest paint here, yeah, that actually, full disclaimer, that was supposed to be a lot more black or darker. I had to dry brush it with silver paint so it matches the rest of the body and the rest of the armor on this figure. Yep. So that, however, is still different from the actual Mezco figure. So the actual Mezco figure is a lot more gray. It's a gray based figure and it's got less dry brushing or shading. But yeah, it's just more gray and it looks more accurate to the movie use suit. Whereas this one is more dark based, and it might work for some dark scenes like the rain scene where he's waiting for Superman and then it's raining and the suit looks a lot more darker. But yeah, it's not as accurate as the Mezco one. But the Mezco one, I just checked on eBay, is around like 800 Australian dollars, and I really didn't want to pay that. So this figure for $55, I think is worth it. Yeah, but I still don't recommend buying like knockoff figures because you're knocking the actual creators, the intellectual property owners on their figure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't see myself paying like 800 bucks. I could probably get like two Hot Toys Batmans for that price. So this just worked out. So in terms of the parts used, the parts on this body is actually die cast. So I think the spear here is die cast as well as the armor piece on the chest. So that's fully die cast and it's a separate floating piece, just like the original Mezco figure. So yeah, I do want to warn you that you have to be careful with the metal spear, because my spear, the original one that came with this figure, did fall and then I broke it, and then I had to ask the seller to resend me another figure, or sorry, another spear. And yeah, gladly or thankfully he obliged, and yeah, that's how I got him to be complete. So in terms of the likeness to the actual movie, you can't really see much of Ben Affleck's the head. Ben Affleck, the head seems a little bit more different shaped, and everything else, structure wise, is there. But yeah, it's not the same quality as the Mezco, and it's not very accurate to Ben Affleck in the movies, but it's a good enough figure. So the paintwork's done really well, just that it's not accurate to the actual figure. There's a little bit of a weird paint going on at the leg there, if you can see that. Yeah, everything is, I guess, not that bad. It's all right. So it's a decent enough figure. So in terms of articulation for this figure, I hope you can see that clearly. I've just focused that. So the head can not look up at all, but he can look down, and the neck piece moves with it. So yeah, that's how much far up it can look. That's how far it can look. Far down it can look. The arms are, yeah, that's really hindered by the armor piece here, but it can move out a little bit. That's probably the extent of it. There's a single joint in the elbow, so that's how far up he can go, which is not that much. Yeah, the arms can go forward, back, pretty good, but yeah, you don't really have to worry about the suit that much. I mean, it's pretty alright. The other hand does the same thing. There's no torso articulation because this is a die-cast piece again, so you can't really move it that much. There's a waist swivel, but you can't really activate it because of the belt that's sculpted on. It's not sculpted on, it's a floating piece, but you can't really activate it because there's so many pieces that are like touching each other here and there. The back piece actually tucks into the belt, so you can't really get too much articulation out of that. The legs, hopefully they do better. The legs can kick out that much, but the fabric does stretch a little bit, so you don't want to do the splits, or you don't want to go any further than that, because I can feel the pull. The legs can go that far front, can go not that much back because he's got his butt piece sculpted, but it's decent enough. He's got thigh swivel, so that activates well, but the armor piece again comes the way. Single jointed elbow, but the body probably is a double jointed. Sorry, single jointed knee, but the body probably is double jointed, and that floating piece does move. Oh, it's not floating, but that piece is in between these, so it can move. It's a separate piece. There's no boot rotation, but the legs can do pretty much what you would need for him to do. So up, down, and articulation pivots. So yeah, in terms of articulation, he's not that bad. I mean, he's an armored Batman, so you really don't want to do too much with him anyways. He just has to stand there and then look really cool. So I think he does that well. So in terms of the packaging, if you were not really educated, you might really get fooled because it's got that sticker there. That's the only reason I wanted to show the box as well. It says 2016 con exclusive Mezco toys, which yeah, it could be really deceiving because it looks actually pretty spot on to what the actual box would look like. So yeah, on the back here, we've got the actual product shot here. So that's from the original Mezco, not this guy. But yeah, as you can see, the grays are a lot more defined here, whereas this is more black with silver paints or gray paints on it. Moving on to the actual box with the sleeve removed, it's pretty much what you would expect from Mezco original box, but yeah, it's just less quality everything. My diorama piece just flew off. But yeah, so that's what it looks like inside. I can't really, it's troublesome, but that's what it looks like inside. It's got everything that you would expect on a Mezco piece. And, whoa, there goes Batman on the, whoa. And on the back here, you have a really cool piece of Ben Affleck's Batman, and just the gray looks really awesome. So yeah, that I really like that picture for some reason, but that's what you get in terms of the box. So in terms of accessories, you get a whole bunch of hands with this Batman. So he's got, I think, two relaxed hands, two fist hands, two open kind of trying to grab something or reaching out kind of hands, one finger pointing hand on the right here. So there's a whole bunch of hands. You got, you can swap them out, swap them in, just make him do different things, hold on to his accessories and stuff. So yeah, you've got a good assortment of things. And it's painted really well, and the sculpt on them is pretty good as well. So it's a definite plus point. Other accessories include this kryptonite gun that he uses against Superman. It's got articulation on it as well, but yeah, I'll just, yep, it's got articulation on that as well. You've got two kryptonite bullets and also the bat grappling hook thing. It also comes with two grapple hooks that actually can shoot out of it, but I didn't want to take that out of the packaging because once you get that unraveled, it kind of sucks and you can't really put it back. So I just like the factory setting, so I left it as is. Last but not least, we've all seen the kryptonite spear that I've posed Batman around with when I was doing the initial introduction and review, or initial thoughts of the action figure. So that's what it looks like. It's painted well. It's got a lot of like different paints and depth kind of put into it. So it's a pretty decent kind of piece. But yeah, you just got to be careful because like I told you, I dropped one and then I broke it, and then yeah, this is the replacement. So yeah. I know that when I look at other people's video and people say they broke something, I'm really interested in what the broken piece looks like. So that's what the broken piece looks like, just in case anybody's wondering. And this is the replacement piece. So yeah, just be careful. So another feature on this figure, let's call it a gimmick, is that the eyes light up on this figure. So that's actually true with the original Mezco figure as well. So the eyes should light up. This has that figure as well, but I never really got it to work. And I think it would probably look really cool if it did work. But the reason I never got it to work is because the battery that came with the action figure is like, yeah, that's exploded. So you can see that that battery piece is just like, I don't know how that happens, but it's not intact, so I couldn't get it to work. And I never really tried because I'm content with how the figure is as is, so I'm happy with it. But yeah, it's just a feature that might work for you but doesn't for me, or I've never really tried. Alright, so let's get into some height comparisons. Here we've got Batman next to some other MezKo knockoff figures. So on the left here we've got Wolverine. Next to him we've got the Man of Steel BvS Superman MezKo. We've got on the right, it's a custom Superman that I made. If anyone wants a video or a tutorial of how to make that, please let me know. I'd be happy to make a video of that, but I don't know if there's any interest. So just gauging that here. And at the end we've got a Shazam, and I'm working on a custom for that. Just give him a better suit, maybe give him a little bit of a taller boot so that he stands up a bit higher, but he's a little bit short at the moment and I don't really like that. The BvS boot that Superman's wearing, that's really good in terms of adding height to the Mezco. It just makes the body look a little bit more proportionate. But yeah, that's what I use him for. But yeah, that's what he looks like next to the other figures. He stands a little bit taller than everybody else, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I'd probably like him to be a little bit taller still than Henry Cavill's Superman, but yeah, it's decent so far. Alright, so here we have him next to the authentic BvS trio. We've got Superman on the left here. He's got a modified head sculpt. It's not a modified head sculpt, it's a Maniple head sculpt. That was, I think, painted by Maniple as well. I got him on eBay. So yeah, I had the head replaced, so it just looks more, I guess, realistic. So that's Superman there. We've got Wonder Woman Gal Gadot right next to him. And that's the Mezco version of Gal Gadot, which is pretty cool. And on the very end, we've got the authentic BvS Batman. So yeah, I think in terms of height and scale, that is a really good height comparison. He is a little bit taller than the Man of Steel Superman, and he's a little bit taller than Ben Affleck Batman. So yeah, it's a good kind of comparison here. Alright, so here we have him next to a couple of Mattel Multiverse DC figures. We've got Aquaman on the left here from the movie, from the solo movie, and we've got Shazam as well on the right. So yeah, I think he scales alright with the other two. Aquaman is supposed to be a little bit taller than Ben Affleck, but I'm not sure if Zachary Levi is. So I think the Shazam still is a little bit tall, and he's got the wide stance as well. So she should be like a few more centimeters taller yet. But yeah, I think it's a good enough comparison. They're different lines, but Mezco is generally supposed to be bigger. But I think this Batman might be a little bit undersized in terms of the actual Mezco figure might be a little bit bigger. But yeah, I think they compare well in size. Alright, here we have Batman next to a few different action figure lines. On the extreme left here, we've got the Iron Man from Marvel Legends. We've got Cyborg from Mafex. We've got Flash from Justice League. Flash from SH Figuarts from the Justice League movie, as well as Thanos from ZD Toys. I've already reviewed Thanos if you want to check him out in my channel. So he should be there in one of my previous videos. But yeah, this is what he looks like next to all the other figures. I think that looks pretty decent. He's probably a little Flash and Cyborg are a little bit too small, but I think he scales with them well. And yeah, Thanos is mammoth, so he works out. Alright, so here we have him next to a couple of 7-inch figures. We've got the DC Collectibles Bizarro figure on the left, and we've got the DC McFarlane Multiverse figure, which is the Batman. So yeah, he is shorter than both of them, but he's a 6-inch figure versus 7-inch figures. Alright, so to finish off this review, I wanted to pit the MezKo Batman against one of his counterparts. This is the Mafex armored Batman from BvS as well. So yeah, I think in terms of the color scale, the Mafex Batman just looks a lot better in terms of accuracy and how he should look and represent the Batman from the movie in his armored version. But if you look at the MezKo version of Batman, he just looks bulkier. He looks there. He looks more defined because of the different parts, the fabrics going into it. He just looks better. The cape is definitely better on the KO figure, the MezKo figure. And maybe the paint can be better. Maybe I could put silver on it, gray on it, just to make it look more accurate to the movie. But I think that's just this really good, phenomenal Batman. And at the price, the Mafex costs a lot more than the MezKo Batman, so I definitely go for the MezKo if it was me. But hey, I'm not trying to get people to buy MezKo figures, so yeah, I still think that this is a really good Batman figure in terms of the price you pay for it, and it's a really good, the parts on it is really good. The painting is a little bit lacking, but all in all, it's just a really good figure. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.